Hello and welcome back. I'm Emo Tempest, and today today you can check out this wind review from Emissaries of Light. So, a lot of really good cards. We didn't get, again, we only got about half of these from the spoilers before, so a lot of cool new stuff to talk about. So let's start with the Tomos. During each of your turns, when you cast the second card you've cast, choose up to 2 backups and activate them. Very, very, very strong card. Just so much value, right? This turns your from trying to cast 2 cards to potentially being able to cast 4 or 5 cards a turn. It seems crazy actually. So, and then later it can become a forward, and when Tomos attacks, activate all backups you control. This card is very nutty. Again, these hero monsters are very, very strong, and I think they're all going to be usable and playable. Obviously this one outshines them all, I think. But we'll see, right? Like, the meta, it's still early. I know right now Wind is currently the front runner of the set, so Wool. The cost required to cast Wool is reduced by 1 for each character of 5 or more you control, cannot become 0, and the forward of cost 5 or more other than Wool you control gain. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponent's summon's abilities. And when you cast a character of cost 5 or more, draw a card. This effect will only trigger once per turn. Very strong card. And this is like what a hero should look like, right? Like, this is what I was talking about that earlier in my other video. That fire, like that backups without like innate protection, or I'm sorry, let me start over there. Legendaries without innate protection are like a little underwhelming, right? Because they're just not safe. But this has so much value, right? The forwards of cost 5 or more other than Wool you control gain cannot be targeted. So like Wool has to be dealt with right away. But he's so cheap, right? Like, after you've gotten some of these other guys out, and they're protected, right? And they've used resources to get rid of Wool, your next Wool is already like cheaper. And so he's just a card that's going to keep going, that keep coming out. And so yeah, he's very threatening. The fact Warrior of Dawn is cool, so he's definitely not going to have any name conflicts in whatever deck he finds, because the other Wolves all have homes elsewhere. It's a very strong L for Wind. Gargoyle. When Gargoyle enters the field, choose a forward of cost 5 or more, break it. Put Gargoyle into the break zone. Okay, yeah, so straight breaks, which is cool. Relatively cheap, and then just the scry effect from all these, from the other, you know, same thing as all the other monsters. We'll probably see some play. Maybe, but I think Tomos is just going to take up your monster slot anyway. Chocobo Chick. Activate all the backups you control and draw 1 card. The cost to cast Chocobo Chick was paid with CP of 3 or more different elements. All forwards you control gain 2,000 power. Now, where I was talking about like your opponent not benefiting from these, this one is like underwhelming, the second effect. This second effect has to be worth it, right? In my opinion, and this second effect is not worth it. So if your opponent steals this, or you're able to cheat this one out, it is very good. And the rest of it is unnecessary. So this card will be played, I think. Ooh, excuse me. Charlotta. When Charlotta enters the field, gain a crystal. When Charlotta is put from the field in the break zone, gain a crystal. Discard Charlotta. Gain a crystal. You can only use this ability if Charlotta is in your hand. Not bad. A lot of easy ways to gain a crystal. She has the potential to gain you 2. And if you need one in a jiffy, she can generate 1 from your hand. So yeah, should see play. And I guess the argument right now, before I move on, is going to be whether playing a regular deck that doesn't need crystals, or crystal based engine, right? And that's where I love the construct of this game, right? Like, because you'll have the same names, right? Like, for example, Charlottas or whatever, or Zidanes or whatever. But which one is it going to lend itself to, right? Like, is it going to be better in a mono, a multi, and now even like a crystal engine, right? Like, so the different names are going to be more relevant for different decks, and it's going to be up to you to, like, or up to us, right? All of us to figure out which is the most optimal one to play, and to play that over the other ones. So Love this game. When Zidane enters the field or attacks, your opponent removes the top card of their deck from the game. You can cast it as though you owned it at any time, and you can normally cast it. The cost for casting can be paid with CP of any element. And when Zidane enters the field, if you have cast 3 or more cards this turn, Zidane gains haste until the end of the turn. So, steals your card, can be paid with any element, but it's not reduced this time. So, multiple things, right? So Mind Flayer just lets you steal one and play for free. Lonnie lets you steal one, cast it with any color, but reduced. And this guy just steals one, but you can cast with any color, right? That's Water, Wind, and Fire. So they shouldn't all be in the same deck, but they probably. But you know what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna find a way to play all your cards. So we already have the the Mind Flayer mill kind of stall deck going on now, and we also have the Renault loop deck, Regis loop, Lonnie loop, or whatever to mill you out. But cards like this are going to work all just well together if you can steal multiple cards from your opponent at once. Now, I'm also thinking that it's going to go good in those decks where you have multiple colors already, as long as they're primarily lending themselves to wind, water, and fire, so you can just keep stealing on curve and on color for stuff. I don't know. He's a good card. I like this one. I think stealing is going to be better than discarding, so I think he might see play. We've had a few Zidanes already that have come out and they don't see play because you still prefer to play the 3-cost one. This might be the one that takes it, or at least for a few weeks once we're testing. This one might take the place of the older Zidane. Siryu, the same Shijin effects, right? His only difference is cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. So he might be your main tank guy. Can be paid with any element if another one is in the break zone, and when he comes in, search for one other than himself. So again, we have to play it, right, to see how it goes. Testing is very limited at the moment. So Theodore, when Theodore enters the field, you may duel 3 active Category 4 characters you control. When you do so, choose a forward of cost 4 or more, break it at the beginning of the attack phase during each of your turns. Activate all the Category 4 forwards you control. This is fantastic, right? So now, if you guys hadn't thought about this, but the new Iridia in a Earth Wind deck with Cat 4 is going to be super playable, right? We have new Theodore, new Cecil, and a new Rosa too, which just makes it super easy to get those counters. And you have this, right? Comes in, duel everyone, break something, and then at the act phase, activate everybody. While Cecil says, I believe if you target them, have to pay extra. Dude, it's crazy. So this Theodore might be what we're looking for, right? And he's a prince, right? So if in other colors, off colors, a 4 deck, right? You can still search him with princess, and other stuff. But Category 4 still does not have a designated searcher, by the way, and it probably won't because it would be busted, right? And straight into Cecil we go. Did I skip one, right? No? Okay. I do that sometimes. When Cecil enters the field, you may play 1 character of cost 4 or less from your hand onto the field. when it enters the field, if it is Category 4, choose up to 2 backups, activate them. When 1 or more character you control are chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, if your opponent doesn't pay 2, cancel its effects. Very, very good. Yeah, it's cards like these that are making Wind outshine, and this full art Cecil is going to be worth a shoot ton of money, guys. So if you have it, hold it. I think if you're going to play it, then whatever, right? But if you're not, or if you don't care about rarity, I say hold it and let's take it to the moon, bro. It's going to be worth a lot of money. Selkie, return to its hand. Okay, so it's one of these. When he enters the field, you may put Selkie in the base. So you can do so, choose a character of cost 4 or more, break it. This is probably the least impactful one, but it's still probably one of the cheapest ways to take advantage of this effect. So, and it's FFCC though, so it is searchable, and for your Norstalen, right? I think that's, yeah. So, I don't know. The FFCC stuff is always good, so I think that's where this one's going to be good. King Tycoon backup, category 5. When King Tycoon enters the field, choose any number of forwards and monsters your opponent controls, return them to their owner's hand. Yeah, so we already hated the Valifor control thing with like the Shikaris or whatever, but I think this card is going to be taking one step further with Althea. I'm pretty sure Althea is going to be the next card to be banned. But because of cards like this, I do expect people to play triple of these, and with Bismarck and Althea and just ways to lift them and do it again, it's going to be really hard to keep, you know, have anything on board. So I believe, like, I think it's Black Tiger Gilgamesh or whatever, the Earth one that says it can't go return to your hand, can't be sent back to your hand, might see more play because of stuff like this in Earth. But you're going to need stuff that breaks 5-cost backups now, guys. Just throwing that out there. New Chocobo. When Chocobo is put from the field in the break zone, choose a character of cost 2 or less in your break zone and add it to your hand. A lot of really good benefits for this, and since we have a lot of new Chocobos, this will probably make its way into the deck. Chocobo Sam. When he enters the field, you may search for a Chocobo or card named Chocobo and add it to your hand. A backup that searches a backup, great. And for wind and tap, you can choose a forward, it gains 1,000 power until the end of the turn. If it is a Chocobo or job name, card name, whatever, it gains 3,000 power instead. Obviously, it'll be a Chocobo. A new Fat Chocobo from 9. Oh shoot, this one's cool. Fat Chocobo cannot attack or block. Oh, he's a forward, actually. At the end of each of your turns, reveal the top cards of your deck. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a wind character, add it to your hand. Bro, more value. Play a wind backup of cost 2 or less from your hand onto the field. You can only use this ability once per turn. S. Fat Chocobo gains 10,000 power until the end of the turn. That's cool. Geisler Greens. That's a cool S. This is such a fan card. So, obviously, the problem is its name is Fat Chocobo, right? So, we're already playing the backup and replaying the backup to get the most amount of value. I guess the good thing is you can play, maybe, I don't know if it's worth playing both, right? Because at the end of each of your turns, you can reveal the top of your deck. Obviously, the Chocobo deck is going to stay mono wind. So, I don't know. I don't know if the other one outweighs this one, or this one outweighs the other one, right? Because the idea is to draw 5 cards or whatever with the other one. Whereas this one, yes, it will always get you a card, but the other one will just get you more at once, right? I don't know. I guess it's going to be worth testing. What do you guys think? Is it going to replace the other Fat Chocobo? Yes or no? Ninja. Remove the top 2 cards of your deck from the game. Choose a forward. Deal 2,000 damage. You can only use this ability once per turn. Why would I want to use this ability once a turn anyway? This is a terrible card. Excuse me, guys. I need to drink some water. This one really got me. Yeah, I don't see a place for this anywhere. Not even in a ninja deck. Not even in sealed. Not even in title. The cost does not outweigh the reward here, so we're not gonna play this card. We're gonna move on right away. Fina, everyone's new favorite win card. Fina cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. Remove Fina from your hand from the game. Choose an auto ability triggered from a forward, cancel its effect. You can only use this ability if you control 4 more wind backups and if Fina's in your hand. So a pretty big stipulation to use it, but a very strong effect. It's pretty much Ash Blossom, right? For my Yu-Gi-Oh fans out here, my Yu-Gi-Oh players still. Just says, no, you're not going to search nothing with your forward, or you're not going to do anything with your forward, right? It's pretty good. The problem in this win deck, though, is that it's going to be space, right? Like, how many you're going to play triple of these, and then hold her in your hand the whole time so your opponent doesn't get anything? Yeah, probably. But then there's like all the other stuff you're gonna have to play. So she's a good card. She'll definitely see play because we need more stuff to cancel autos. Even though they already have Sin and like 7 and stuff, which we don't use, but maybe between both of them it's enough. Madam M enters the field, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add a win character among them, and add it to your hand and return the other cards to the bottom. I think this is good. It's just it's just getting there faster, right? Like, and that's kind of what sometimes you want to do with these decks. You're playing so much value and maybe like more options in your win decks that this one is just like, let's get there faster and let's find it, right? You probably won't play 3, but maybe 2 of these or something. It's a good backup. It's EX burst, so very, very, very good. Look at this ugly little Yuri. When Yuri enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 card among them to your hand, or play 1 wing character of cost 3 or more among them onto the field. Return the other cards to the bottom. This is not enough. I don't like this card. It seems very forced. I don't know. The other Yuris are better. I don't want to play Yuri anymore, actually. So it still gets you 3 CP, and it's probably better if you end up playing the win character. I don't know, man. It's complicated, right? Because he's so expensive for the potential to like miss stuff. And what are you really going to be looking forward to playing at once at sometimes that you're not already generating enough value from Atomos and like Rosa and all the other wind monster cards in your deck, right? And it has to be of cost 3, right? Like, so you can't even like, if it's a 2 cost or anything like that, it's just, it has to be play a win character of cost 3 among them. Too weird. Whoa. Morze Soiree, 2-drop backup. The card name Madame Adele you control cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons. Choose card name Madame Adele forward or job Morze Soiree member you control gains 1,000 power. So more Soiree support. Madame L, I believe, is the adventurer from the Earth. If you haven't seen that one, go check that review out as well. But she's kind of like the main thing for all of those. She kind of gives the Soiree members all their protection and stuff. Makes them really relevant. This is a funny card though. These arts from this to this. Rosa backup category 4. The card named Theodore or Cecil, the good ones we just saw, gain. You can tap and gain 1,000 power until the end of the turn. Oh, so it buffs them both actually by 1,000, which is great. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Rydia Cat 4, like summon control, is going to be nuts. So good luck with that one. That's probably what we'll be playing too for a little bit. Alright guys, oh, I think we skipped one again. Precioda. When he enters the field, activate all the Soiree members. Yeah, I think that's the only one we missed. Yeah, I'm definitely clicking too fast through some of these. Yeah, so a couple things stand out, right? Obviously, Atomos busted, Wolves busted, Theodore, Cecil, and I like the Rosa edition and the Fina, right? King Tycoon is, I think, is going to be a lot more trouble for everyone than we think. And if you guys aren't prepared for this, you guys might want to start considering stuff. And the Zidane, I hope, sees a lot more play. The rest of them are under my radar right now. Like, don't get me wrong, this Chocobo Sam and Fat Chocobo are good cards, but again, the value isn't there for me to replace like the other Fat Chocobo, I don't think. And then, yeah, Chocobo Sam will be good to get the Fat Chocobo. So, you can Chocobo Sam into Fat Chocobo into more cards in hand, and then just, you'll be okay in turn 1. But yeah, alright guys, that's it for the win review. Let me know what you think, and which ones are your favorite. Take it easy. See you on the next one.